Virtuous Devotional Thoughts for Women, written by Monica Diaz, read by Belinda Sainsbury. A pleasant good morning, dear friends. Today, December 28th, our devotional is entitled, Nothing is Impossible to God. I am not what I ought to be. I am not what I want to be. But by the grace of God, I am not what I once used to be. John Newton. Two twin brothers were raised in the same home with an alcoholic, violent father. After a terrible childhood, they each went their separate ways. At the age of 30, a psychologist who was conducting a study on twin siblings visited the first brother. He was married and had children. He was an alcoholic and he was violent. At the end of the interview, the researcher asked him, "Why are you in this situation?" "How can you possibly ask me that question, knowing how my father was?" the young man replied. "Do you expect me to be any different?" When he visited the other brother, the psychologist could not believe what he was seeing. He was married and had children. He had a balanced life. He was a non-drinker, and his home abounded with love and peace. "How did you achieve such family stability?" the psychologist asked in disbelief. "How can you possibly ask me that question, knowing how my father was? Did you expect me to be any different?" was the twins' reply. Our childhood circumstances were what they were. Perhaps we were raised in a difficult environment with an abusive father, mother, or brother, without opportunities in life, financial, educational, professional, or any other kind. If you feel that your genetics, education, or environment have prevented you from being what you could have become, I am here to tell you, don't lose hope. Don't allow that negative starting point to prevent you from acknowledging the power that is found in God. With God, nothing is impossible. This was said by Jesus, who was born in Nazareth, where the inhabitants were of that character that he was continually exposed to temptations, and it was necessary for him to be guarded in order to remain pure and spotless amid so much sin and wickedness. Christ did not select this place himself. His heavenly Father chose this place for him, where his character would be tested and tried in a variety of ways. The early life of Christ was subjected to severe trials, hardships, and conflicts, that he might develop the perfect character which makes him a perfect example. It's impossible for us to overcome life's adverse circumstances on our own, but with God, nothing is impossible. He can make your disadvantages the foundation of character that will shine for him. There are two things in your favor: his power and Jesus' example. Jesus answered, "This is impossible for human beings, but not for God. Everything is possible for God." Mark chapter 10 and verse 27.